Hey everyone, I'm Joel Greene and welcome to Curiosity Quest, the show that explores what you, the viewer, are curious about. Now today our quest letter came to us from New Orleans, Louisiana. Joseph wrote, "Dear Joel, I would like to know more about solar power and how it makes things work. I want to know more about alternating and direct currents. I used to live in San Francisco and now I've moved to New Orleans and really miss learning about solar energy. I love your show so much and learned so much." Well, Joseph, thank you so much. And to you and your parents, what an amazing idea for a 5-year-old. That's how old he was when he sent us that quest letter. Because of you, we're out here at Lake Skinner in Southern California, where we're gonna learn firsthand from students who are competing with the power of solar. So let's begin today's Curiosity Quest. It's early in the morning, the sun is barely out, and I'm here with Julie, the director of Solar Cup. So start us off, Julie. What is Solar Cup?
Solar Cup is a high school solar boat race, and it's put on every year in May, and it's a fun event for high school kids.
So this has been going on for over a decade now, well over a decade.
Yes.
And you said high school students, where are these students coming from?
Metropolitan service area covers all 6 counties from Ventura down to San Diego. So the kids come from all 6 of those counties.
Solar Cup, is there an actual cup?
There is.
Okay.
Kind of like the Stanley Cup. The winner of the entire event for the veteran division has a large trophy with their name engraved on it, and they get to keep it for a year. goes on display at the school. And then the rookies also have a large solar cup that they have their name engraved on, and they get to keep it for a year.
Okay, so for our audience's sake, distinguish between a rookie and a veteran.
A rookie is a team that's in here for the first year. Both the teacher and the students have never been in the program, and it's their first year competing.
And how many teams are we talking about? This place looks packed.
Yes, this year we have 38 teams and probably almost 700, 750 kids.
This is a multi-day event going on here.
Yes.
3 days.
3 days.
But yet this started way back in the beginning of the school year for a lot of these groups, right?
Yes, they start back when the schools were identified back in August and September. We build boats in November where they actually just get pieces of wood and a set of directions and tools, and now go build a boat in 6 or 8 hours. And so they build the hull in November, and then we have workshops in December and January to learn all the technical stuff, and then here they are in May.
Okay, before we dive any more into it, I gotta ask you guys, when you think of solar in a boat, what comes to your mind?
A solar-powered boat. A boat. Probably solar energy powering the engine. Solar boat.
Alternatives, clean energy.
Solar boat. Just electricity running the boat.
Sun-powered, perhaps?
Sun-powered.
All right, so explain how solar and boats come together.
Right. Technically it's a canoe and solar panels, it's together. We need the kids to learn about solar technology. We also need solar boats because they put out less pollutants. They put out 0 pollutants for the drinking water reservoirs.
So what's going on behind me right now?
We're setting up for heat 2 of the endurance race, and the endurance race is 90 minutes. How many laps around about 1.2 kilometers, how many laps can you do in 90 minutes?
So, and there's also a speed race as well, right?
Tomorrow we do have the sprint race, and it's a 200-meter course. How fast can your boat go without the solar panels? They'll charge the batteries tonight with the solar panels off the boat. They store the energy in the batteries, take the solar panels off. How fast can your boat go? And
so I'm curious, how fast do you think a solar-powered boat can go?
40 to 50 miles an hour.
30 miles per hour.
10 miles per hour.
At least 20 miles per hour. 30 miles per hour? About 5 miles an hour.
It wouldn't be very fast.
40 miles per hour. 20 miles per hour, maybe? 85 miles per hour.
I'd say probably a max of 20 miles per hour.
Yesterday, the teams had to do 3 things. They had to pass an online inspection that was an electrical checklist, a mechanical checklist, and a boat weight checklist. So the boat has to weigh less than 451 pounds, including the skipper weight.
And just on time, the sun's
Exactly.
breaking, all of a sudden it's out, and they're getting ready to go out on the water. So they're lining up right here.
So that the fastest boat from yesterday is going to be the first one off. And then once they're out there, they don't have to stay in line. They can start passing each other.
Is there a strategy about going too fast? Like, you know, the rabbit before the turtle?
Exactly.
You know, that kind of...
You do want to have a steady pace the entire time because it's 90 minutes. Your batteries will not last the entire 90 minutes. So you have to have the amps from that the motor are pulling, there has to be a steady stream. You can't go super fast, then to run out of power.
I understand, Julie, that I shouldn't be touching this water.
Correct. This is a drinking water reservoir, so there's no body contact. If there's pathogens on your body or bacteria, we don't want it in the lake. So all the students, you can see there are waders.
Waders.
It's drinking water reservoir, solar boats are clean. So this is a way to promote clean recreation on our reservoirs.
Okay.
And if these were gas boats, the gas would leave a little bit of a residue.
I mean, look at these things. Wow.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Here's your fun fact. Though the sun is 90 million miles from Earth, it takes light less than 10 minutes to travel that distance.
Do the boats have to be the same?
They do. Each of the hulls has to be the same. The hull, the actual shell of the boat.
Okay, okay.
They all build the same hull at the workshop in November. They have choices of motors. They can choose what kind of battery they have.
Okay.
And like this one has 2 batteries. They also can choose, obviously, to spend a lot of time and effort on chairs or seats for the skipper.
You don't even think about that. Wow, yeah, okay.
They have the steering and the mechanism for steering, and this one has cables and a steering wheel.
Yeah.
And how the steering coordinates with the rudder and the back.
So what about the solar panels? Because the solar panels look pretty similar on all the boats.
Some of them you'll see are really thin. These are really thin, lightweight solar panels. You'll see some other boats that maybe have heavier ones.
And I see in several of the boats, like back here, I see these,
Yes.
looks like beach balls.
Yes.
And then I see another one back there and looks like a tube in that one. What are these for?
This is the flotation. So if, for instance, there was an emergency, we don't want the boat to go under, so they've done the math. For everything that doesn't float, they have to have flotation. So you can see this would even count as flotation, the seat.
Oh
these
my
are-
goodness.
And they have the balls for the flotation.
You have solar panels on here, and
Right.
only recently, I think it only happened when we were recording, the sun came out.
But the technology in these solar panels are so great that even in a cloudy day, they would still be getting the sun that they needed.
What would be on a checklist before you go out on the water?
If you can swim, life jackets.
Make sure I have maybe some scuba gear, definitely some flippers,
Life vest,
and a life vest.
fire extinguisher maybe.
Make sure there's no holes in the boat.
Life vest.
Paddles.
I need to take some cute pictures on the water.
A bunch of food, technology, and water.
I'd want to bring snacks.
You know, life vests, and it depends on what kind of boat. Probably like fuel in your fuel tank.
I'm here with Rupam and Dave, and tell us about this checklist you guys are going through with the boats out here.
Yeah, so every boat that comes up here, we want to make sure that when they go out on the water, they are completely safe. So Dave and I have been going through, we want to make sure that they can see over their solar panels, they are wearing a life preserver, that they're certified that they can swim, and they get a special wristband when they've passed their swim test that shows that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we also want to make sure they have a flag. So it's a bright orange flag usually, so if there's any problem, they can wave a flag. And they also have a horn or a whistle as a signal device too to let us know if there's any issues out there. And we want to make sure they have a tow rope in the front, so if we have to tow them back in, we can do that. That they have a paddle if something goes wrong with their motor, that they can paddle in and come back to the dock.
What's stability? I mean, what do we check? How do you check that?
We're just checking to make sure the boat doesn't tip over. And so for the test, we actually set a weight on the edge of the boat, and we see how far it lists to the left or to the right.
Fire extinguisher, they all have to have fire extinguishers.
They all have a fire extinguisher.
Okay, paddle, signal device, towing, ballast. What's the ballast here?
Ballast is if the skipper is exceptionally light, they'll add weight to the boat so all the boats are equal in weight.
We want to make sure that if there's any issue, the skipper can get out of the boat as quickly as possible, and so we want to make sure they can get out within 5 seconds. So we stop them and we say, all right, skipper, get out, and we start counting, and they usually do it in 2 or 3 seconds.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Here's your fun fact. Did you know that solar energy is the most abundant energy source on Earth?
So I'm here with the general manager of the Metropolitan Water District in Southern California, Jeff. Jeff, tell us, how does the Water District and Solar Cup boats, how does that all come together?
So about 15 years ago, we had this idea that we wanted to inspire high school kids. We had a lot of programs for elementary school and middle school, but we wanted to do something for high school, and we wanted to do something that would be kind of environmental, eco-conscious. And I don't even know who came up with the idea, but the idea was to build boats that would be charged entirely by solar power and then race them on the lake. And high school kids do it. They build the boats entirely by hand, by themselves. This is our lake, and it's what we call a regulating reservoir. We have a treatment plant just a little south of here, a few miles, and this water comes out of here, then gets treated and serves all of San Diego and South Riverside counties.
So why was Lake Skinner chosen as the host place for the Solar Cup?
Well, for one, it's ours, but for a second, it's got camping facilities.
Can you take these panels off at any time during the races?
Technically during the races there's no need to because the weights are so nominal. However, if there is a need to, we can take them off.
These are really thin solar panels.
Yes, they are really thin and they're also really light.
How do these solar panels actually make the motor work?
So the solar panels essentially grab the energy from the sun and then they convert it into a form of energy which the batteries can then be charged with. And then from there the batteries can be used to run the motor and the propeller and thus provide the boat with thrust to push forward.
So do the solar panels continue to charge the battery while you're out on the lake?
For this endurance race, yes.
For the endurance race, okay. That's interesting. So you're basically just using the solar panels to charge a battery instead of plugging it into a wall and doing it yourself?
Yes, pretty much.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Here's your fun fact. The largest solar power plant in the world is found in California in the Mojave Desert.
I'm here with the students from John Muir High School, and guys, first of all, where's the seat?
Oh, our seat, we took it off because it soaked up a lot of water, so we're pretty much drying it out.
So how'd the first heat go for you guys?
The first heat didn't go so well the first round. The first round we had to take the boat out and turn on the bilge pump because the bilge pump was not connected correctly.
What is a bilge pump?
Maybe something you bring for a well to pump out water.
It pumps something, probably water.
It sounds like something to do with like any type of construction, or it sounds like a weird exercise thing.
Something that pumps.
For those of you that don't know, if you're using a bilge pump, that means you have water inside your boat. How are we getting so much water in the boat?
Right now, the boat isn't even out with the weight correctly. So when you lean back too far, the boat takes in water from the back and it distributes it evenly throughout the boat. So we ended up having to scoop out water. Alejandro had to cut a hole through it and start dumping out water from the back and driving at the same time. It was crazy.
Okay, so tell me about how the solar panels are actually pushing the boat.
Our solar panels are pretty much working in somewhat similar to an alternator in a regular car.
Okay.
Except that the energy that's being produced is not using its own energy to charge itself. These actual solar panels are used to charge up the batteries while we're using the batteries.
All right, so I'm here with the team leader from Burbank High School, Anthony. Anthony, first of all, tell us, what are you guys doing out here?
We're racing our solar-powered boats.
Why, though? I mean, why?
It's supposed to increase awareness for water conservation and the ability to use solar panels.
I don't think I've seen a team this big. How many members do you guys have?
We currently have 19. We have 19.
How'd you guys do on the first heat?
Our first heat was bad. We had some connection problems.
Did you guys need a tow while you were out there?
Yeah, we needed a tow in.
The solar panels, they're off right now. Why?
because we're actually charging our batteries over there.
Is it enough wattage to keep you out on the lake for 90 minutes?
It's just enough to keep us going for that extra 3 minutes because our batteries will last 87.
Oh.
So we just need the panels to give it that 3 minutes.
I heard great reviews on your PSAs and the message you guys had out there.
Yeah, and Josh actually did it. He was the main guy that did it all.
You guys are wondering what a PSM or a PSA looks like? Let's roll theirs.
Water. It's the Earth's most essential resource. And in the midst of the California drought, our beautiful California lakes are deteriorating. A common misconception is that the El Nino is the savior to our problem. However, most rainwater runs straight off into the ocean, making the El Nino seem practically useless in the areas where it doesn't snow. But there is a hero who can save California, and it is you.
Why are you guys out here?
Actually, one of the captains just asked me to be on the team, and I realized I just really like engineering because of our engineering teacher, and it was going to be probably one of my favorite clubs of the year, and it was the easiest club to join because you just show up every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you meet for a meeting, and you write a tech report, and you build a boat.
So let me make this clear. In order to be out here, you've got to qualify. You've got to go through the many steps, and one of those steps is to create a public service announcement that's presented in order to be considered as a team out here, right?
Yeah, that's very true. We actually did we took pictures, we cut out construction paper and created this sort of story about conservation of water.
I'm here with Chino Hills High School, and what's your name?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, tell me, why are you guys out here for this competition?
We are just trying to get the students involved with the solar panel and how energy works so that hopefully in the future we'll be more experienced with the renewable energy that we can use another source to run our stuff in the future.
So Greene, how long have you been involved in the Solar Cup?
A couple years now. I actually brought it over to Chino Hills High School about 3 years ago. Last year was our first run.
What's the one thing you would say that these students have gotten out of this above anything else that you've witnessed?
I think it's really learning how to work together.
Tell me a little bit about why the students are out here.
Well, this program is designed to help the kids learn about technology, learn about alternative energy with solar power. The boat runs on solar power from the sun, and how to use tools and fix things as well as build things.
I mean, in a nutshell, how is this working?
The bottom line is that the boat runs off of 2 batteries that we have there, and the solar panels collect energy from the sun. That electricity is used to recharge the batteries. So the batteries theoretically will stay charged as long as there's sun out.
How can you capture energy from the sun?
You can use solar panels.
Energy from the sun, I could capture it either by the power of plants, or I could capture it with solar panels.
Solar panels.
You can use solar panels.
From plants using photosynthesis.
By solar panels.
Solar panels.
We are at day 2 at the Solar Cup event, and I'm here with Julie. Same cloud cover.
Today, the cloud cover's fine because the students have their boats, the batteries are filled with solar power, and they're going to do the sprint race. 2 heats, 200 meters. How fast can your boat go?
Now, are they removing the solar panels today, or are they keeping them on?
They removed them because they used the solar panels yesterday afternoon to put energy into their batteries.
What type of speeds are we seeing on the water?
15 to 18 miles per hour.
Wow, no, that is awesome. All right, so we'll check out the sprints today. Show me what you look like driving a boat. Describe to me in detail how a solar panel works.
Taking the rays of the sun and absorbing it through, I think it was a layer of this one material that would absorb the energy. The energy from that sheet, that material would send the energy to some tubes, very thin tubes throughout the solar panel, which just coil throughout the panel. and then eventually build up and store itself into the cables, and that would basically be connected to like a battery or a generator or something to be stored.
So it captures the sun's light and then somehow, I'm not sure how it works, turns it into like usable energy that can connect to like a house or...
They capture light from the sun and they use it as energy and put it towards like making your TV work or giving you AC.
It's like in a similar process as photosynthesis, captures light and then it converts it into energy, and I don't know the exact process. It's converting energy. Since energy can't be created or destroyed, you can always transfer it or convert it. So light energy to electricity is the conversion.
Solar power, how does it work?
Light from the sun, it comes down onto the panels, and through the panels that light is kind of converted into energy or electricity, and from there, from the panels it flows into the batteries, which powers up the batteries, which then powers up the motor, as Joyce was saying earlier.
The energy begins with this fuse right here, and it'll just go through this wire and contact the solenoid. And then the solenoid has some cables that connects to a solar panel. We don't have the solar panels on right now because it's a sprint race and we don't need them.
So if we didn't have the solar panels, we wouldn't have energy in the batteries. If we don't have energy in the batteries, we wouldn't have it starting down that cable.
Stand clear.
Oh, wow. So I see the motor turning right here.
Yeah. And the propeller's back there.
The propeller's back there. Okay. So solar panels are off. Are they charging for the next race?
Yes. In fact,
they're right behind me. Okay. This boat looks as clean on the inside as any boat we've seen here today. Why is that?
We just keep everything really tight, and we only use what we have to use, and we make sure before we put anything on the boat, we make sure it's absolutely necessary.
What does AC/DC stand for?
AC/DC, I think AC/DC is either a band or a type of electrical current.
AC/DC, air conditioning, durability check.
AC, like alternate current, and then DC, direct current.
Air conditioner, deca converter.
What's AC/DC stand for?
When you take a rubber band and you put it on a rock, and then it makes a rock band.
It is a type of band from Australia.
AC/DC is alternating current and direct current relating to electricity.
I'm here with McBride High School out of
Long Beach, California.
This is a big group right here. How many of them are you guys?
There's 20 of us.
So our letter that got us out here from Joseph, he was 5 years old. This kid wanted to know about alternating and direct current and what? What is he talking about?
Okay, well, direct current, you could think of direct current as just having just one flow going one direction. So if you think about fish flowing down a stream, they only go one direction. Now, alternating current could be when fish flow upstream and downstream. The current goes both directions.
Okay.
So those are the difference between the two. Both supply the power, but direct current, it only flows one way, whereas alternating current, it goes two directions.
Two directions. Now with this, the solar-powered boat, is it alternating current or direct current?
Direct current.
Fun fact, fun fact, fun fact. Here's your fun fact. Solar energy has been used by humans for a very long time for reasons such as heating, cooking, and drying clothes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the elusive Solar Cup. Wow, this is impressive.
Yeah, and so you can see all the names have been imprinted from the previous winners.
Just like the Stanley Cup.
It's just like the Stanley Cup.
Wow, now this is what's the difference between the two?
This is the rookie trophy, and you can see we didn't start it back in 2002 because we didn't have two different categories. So now we have the rookie trophies here, and this is actually the second Veteran Solar Cup because we filled up the other one.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we've been doing it for so long, we filled up the other one, so now we only have 3 names on this one.
I see we have a lot of other awards, and what are these?
On this side here, we have the medals. So each team, because obviously not every team can win the Solar Cup,
Yeah.
but they've worked so hard over 9 months that they do get a participation medal.
Okay.
And then obviously if they're going to college or moving on, something like this could help on a resume or just, get on something that would help them move on in their life. So this gives them proof that they were in the Solar Cup and they participated.
I want to thank Julie, all the educators, all the participants, all the students who have figured out how to harness the power of the sun. I especially want to thank you, Joseph, for sending us on today's Curiosity Quest. Now, if there's something that you're curious about, let me hear from you. Go to curiosityquest.org, click on the Send Us on a Quest link, and simply tell me what you're curious about. Doesn't matter how old you are, like Joseph, who was 5 when he sent us this letter, and who knows, it could be you that sends us on our next amazing journey. Now remember, every great adventure begins with just one person's curiosity. So I wonder, what are you curious about? I'm Joel Greene. I'll see you next time.